Hi everyone, welcome to our In the Know, our live session here at City Hall, Citrus Heights. Welcome. We're glad that you're joining us this month. Those that were here last month, we had some technical difficulties, so hopefully tonight will be okay. But if something happens, hang in there, we'll be back. But my name's Allison, I'm with the City of Citrus Heights, and I'm welcome tonight.
Meghan Huber, Economic Development and Communications Manager.
And Kempenaar, I'm the Planning Manager.
Great, and our topic tonight is economic development and all those things related, so we're going to get right into it. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of questions.
We're excited to answer them.
Good. We asked earlier in this week the community members to send in some questions, so I have a few.
Great.
And so we'll start with those. So in the meantime, everyone out there, if you have questions that come up through our discussion, make sure and type them in on the comment line and we'll try to respond. Before we get into the details of these questions, Meghan, can you just kind of give people an idea, like what is economic development?
Absolutely, I'd love to. So economic development really is about four things: business attraction, business retention, marketing, and startup support. So we do our best in economic development to make sure our commercial business community is happy and healthy and growing.
Great. So great things, sounds important. Why are they important to us here in Citrus Heights?
Well, they're definitely important in every city. I can tell you what it looks like here on the ground here in Citrus Heights. Really, the two big metrics when we talk about economic development and the primary signals of a healthy business community are job generation and sales tax generation. Those are our key indicators that business is being done. So you can hear inherently how important those are to a city. It's always great to have a job base that makes sure your community as a whole is really active and growing. And of course, sales tax generation is an indicator of a healthy economy. So those are two primary things that we look for, but we also really like to take a holistic approach. It's really important to us to infuse quality of life in there as well by adding new businesses, making sure new businesses are growing. We're adding amenities for our community.
Great things. I know when a new business comes in, it seems to be a lot of talk about, oh, we're getting this business.
Yes.
We're getting this. So it is exciting to the community to hear that. So,
Absolutely.
So that's great. I think we're going to share some good stuff tonight. So
Yes,
thank you guys for joining us.
Open up the secret file.
Yes, we're gonna be in the know.
In the know.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna start right off with the number one question that I get when I'm out, and I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. What's happening with Sunrise Mall?
Oh, Sunrise Mall. Casey, is that our very favorite project?
That is our favorite project.
It's so important to the City of Citrus Heights and our community, and we've worked really hard to make sure that we're doing the right thing for and by Sunrise Mall. So the first message that we always want to get across is any messaging related to Sunrise Mall, it doesn't mean that it's closing. The mall is open for business. It will stay open for business. Please be sure to support your local community by shopping local. We love Sunrise Mall. At the same time, Sunrise Mall has a huge opportunity for redevelopment, and there's been desire to redevelop it in the past, but also a lot of barriers. As an example, not many people know that Sunrise Mall isn't owned by a single entity. It's actually owned by 5 different owners. So what that means is it's very difficult to redevelop because, as you can imagine, there's a variety of interest or non-interest from these different parties to do things. Some could be perfectly happy with where they're at, but we've gotten to a point where it's not necessarily working for our local community. Vacancy rates are high, and its economic impact has declined about 50% over the last 13 years or so. So as a team and as a city and as a community, we decided that now is the time to help things along, which is how we embarked on our specific plan process.
Right, so a specific plan is intended to guide the future, what the mall looks like in the future, And our council directed us to make it a place where people can shop, work, live, and play. It used to be a really cool place to hang out, and we want to see it come back to that. So we're working really closely with the property owners as well as an A-plus team of engineers and architects that have done this sort of thing, mall redevelopment all over the country. So we have some of the leading experts in the field guiding that effort to make sure that we're successful in moving the mall forward.
Important stuff. Yeah, I think when I get asked questions about it, they think the city owns the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's also important for people to know that we're not the owners.
Right.
We are the guiding principles of
Yes.
the mall and what happens there.
Exactly.
So it's great that we got a great team in place for this next phase.
Absolutely.
What's the timing of this? So what are you doing now, and then about how long before we see changes?
Certainly.
So right now we're doing a market analysis, and that's really key in understanding what the mall can support, what type of uses would support, whether it's retail or residential or office, or what type of uses really make sense at the mall. So that's the first part of this project, and we will be moving forward. We'll be presenting that to the public early next year through a community workshop that invites all the public to come and hear what the market will support, as well as solicit ideas of what would be good there.
Oh, great. So that's something the public can participate in?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a joint vision between the city and the owners and the community, and we want to make sure that that vision is heard and understood equally by all. So that exact date hasn't been pinned down yet, but it'll be early next year, and we'll make sure to broadcast it widely.
Oh, great.
And if I can, we want to make sure that everyone who wants to be involved gets this information and these updates in a timely manner. So we would love it if everyone would make sure that you are signed up on all of our social channels, or whichever you prefer, and then also sign up for our City e-newsletter that goes out monthly, and then we also send out updates as needed. There is a sign up on our website, citrusheights.net.
Great, great. So people could sign up, kind of follow the process.
Yes.
Join in when it's time, and we want to hear from them.
Absolutely. We're a little quiet right now because we've just started pulling together all of the teams that will be working on this and setting the foundational work. We can guarantee that early next year we'll be out and about talking to our community and making sure you're involved if you want to be.
Oh, great. We're very excited. Very excited to hear that. Thank you guys for that. Other question we had was, what's being built off Arcadia?
So off of Arcadia, last year the City Council approved a development called Mitchell Farms. It's 260 homes on 55 acres. Of that, 20 acres of that is preserved for open space, and it will have a trail that goes through there, as well as some passive park and some play areas that, and the trail will connect to both Sunrise Boulevard and Fair Oaks Boulevard, as well as the city's future electric greenway. Mm-hmm. So it's really, they're under construction, they're moving dirt. It's really exciting to see that get moving.
Great, it's going to be a nice project. All right, another popular one I get asked a lot when I'm out and about. What's being built by Applebee's there at Stock Ranch?
So at that site, they're building a 4-tenant multi-unit commercial building, and that will have a variety of restaurant and retail uses in it. At this point, I don't believe they've announced any users, but we know there'll be a couple of restaurants in there, and I know the community really likes new restaurants, and we're excited to see that move forward. So stay tuned on that one.
Great. And that's been in place for quite a long time, right? The vision for the development of that Stock Ranch area?
That's right, yeah. So that's been around since about 2000. We did a specific plan for that project to plan out how the circulation works and what uses are allowed and so forth. So the developer's been slowly moving forward with projects like Applebee's and now this other project, and we're hopeful that there's more demand for additional projects to keep coming in.
Great, great, thank you. All right. The other question, up Auburn Boulevard there towards I-80, the infamous Studio Movie Grill. What's going on there? Are they working on that?
You know, they are. I know our community was a little bit concerned because it was a little bit quiet out there, but they were just sorting some stuff out. And if you've been out there lately, you see extensive construction, and they're hitting it really hard, which is exciting. So from what I understand, it's being projected that they will open late spring next year. Of course, that is dependent on how construction goes and the weather, if it's kind to us. But we'll be sure to keep you posted with periodic updates on our Facebook channel.
Great. I imagine that's a pretty big economic engine. The studio movie grill at the entrance to the city in a center that maybe has been kind of quiet over the years.
Absolutely.
So what do you think will happen in that center in the future?
Yes, I think that center is in the middle of a really great renaissance. It's a microcosm, really, of a common story that's happening with aging retail, where you have a big box store vacate and the center becomes much quieter and less impactful. And then when a large, impressive tenant like Studio Movie Grill comes in to revitalize the site, it has a ripple effect with the rest of the center. So what we're seeing now is other property owners expressing interest in improving the exteriors of their properties. There's also a really exciting signage project that is in-house right now with planning, all of which will really uplift the center visually. But what it really does is support the existing tenants and attract additional tenants with that new synergy. So that's one of my favorite business happenings to watch in Citrus Heights. I love predicting what will happen there, and I think it'll be an even better story once we get a year from now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, a couple years ago, Citrus Town was kind of in that spot. That's the center across from Sunrise Mall at Sunrise and Greenback. Casey could talk about that project and what that remodel did to that center.
Right, that remodel was a big deal a few years ago. That center was declining a bit, and the owners invested quite a bit of money to make it look a lot nicer and bring more tenants. So they landed the Sprouts and some other tenants in there that made it really exciting. And that parking lot is always full. It's always probably one of our busiest centers. So they've done a really good job, and they're busy all the time. So it's a great sign of economic development.
Yes, absolutely. And the improvements don't just stop at the shopping center boundary. We also have our Auburn Boulevard Phase 2 improvements that are on the books to begin construction fiscal year 2022. So that is something to look forward to as well, bringing the improvements that we did that first half down to that second half. And that will include a traffic signal there at the shopping center too. So increasing ease of access even more and helping to support that center.
Great, yeah. Auburn Boulevard's made some great improvements over the years, and we've kind of got the inn by Sylvan Corners moved up, and now we'll be at the other end, right?
Exactly.
Great, exciting.
I see some question about the facade program we have on Auburn Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad someone asked. So the city offers a really great tool specifically for our businesses along Auburn Boulevard to incentivize exterior improvements. We have our Activate Auburn grant program that provides complimentary consulting and renderings for exterior improvements. So as an example, some of the concepts that have resulted from that help include Crepes and Burgers and Tea It, now open across from Studio Movie Grill Center. So you can see really great ideas come out of that. And then the program also offers match funding to be able to implement those changes. So it's a really great resource. It's really effective. If anyone owns a business or knows of someone who owns a business on Auburn Boulevard who would like to make exterior improvements, please have them reach out. We'd love to have a chat.
And what's the best way to reach out?
Email me directly, mhuber, that's H-U-B-E-R, at citrusheights.net.
Great. That Tea It store just looks fantastic.
Doesn't it?
And I know when they first applied, they were just going to paint the outside of the building and do a little improvements, but with this program, we have this beautiful, unique building.
Yes, absolutely. Night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day improvement. Yeah, I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, it looks really great. All right, any more questions coming in? All right, we'll keep checking. And thank you, anyone that joined us late. As you maybe have heard, we're talking about economic development in the city of Citrus Heights. I'm Allison, I'm with the Planning Division, I'm here, but I'm my honored guest tonight.
Meghan Huber.
Casey Kempenaar.
They're the experts in this field, so we're learning from them. So if you have questions, make sure then put them in comments, send them in, we'll address them. Because this is all about you and what you want to know. All right. Let's see. Tell us about the Economic Development Department is a question, and its economic goals.
Oh, okay, great. So we kind of reviewed the high-level goals already. That economic development is about attraction and retention of businesses, marketing to make sure we're reaching audiences that would be beneficial for Citrus Heights, and startup support to make sure we're growing our businesses in a grassroots manner, right? Home team. So in addition to that, the city does have specific goals. City Council sets our strategic planning goals. From an economic development perspective, the one that's probably the most relevant is to diversify Citrus Heights for a changing economy. That can mean a lot of different things depending on the angle that we're looking at, or the time of year, or the economic factors at play at any point in time. What that means for us generally is to ensure that we are building new industry segments in addition to taking care of our existing ones. So as an economic developer, I love fun, mildly geeky facts. I can tell you what our top 5 industries are. So number 1 is the medical segment. An example of that is the new Dignity Health Medical Office building that just went up here right in front of City Hall on Greenback. It created about 260 jobs, wow, which is fabulous for us. So it pushed that medical segment up to the top. Number 2 is the government sector. Number 3 is construction and home improvement. Number 4 is accommodations and food services. And as my Citrus Heights community knows, we do not currently have a hotel, which means we are gangbusters in the food services department. There is no shortage of places to eat in Citrus Heights. And 5th is retail. So it's interesting because I think if you asked someone who lives or works in Citrus Heights, they might wager, I guess, that retail is our top industry segment just based on what we see driving around, but that's in fact not the case. There's a lot of other hidden industries and employment generators hidden in plain sight in Citrus Heights. So that's part of my job too, is to reach out to them and foster them and grow them even more.
Did you want to talk about a little bit about the medical office building, what that spurred, the trickle-down effect down the street at Stock Ranch and
Oh, I think you should.
Okay. So, so that we are seeing a trickle-down effect from the medical office building being located in the city. What we're seeing is interest in other development in that sector. So starting very soon, there'll be a construction of a surgery center located at Sylvan Road and Stock Ranch Road. So right there on the corner next to the SBA building, that'll be where people can go get surgeries, and they're affiliated with the hospital as well. So it's really exciting to see that move forward.
It's nice to have those services where you live. You don't have to drive downtown or deal with a lot of traffic. You get those services right where you live. So if you can work here and live here and get your outside services, it does really create a great community to live in.
Yes, absolutely. And on the quirky fact train, I know of one more that really reinforces that, and that is that Citrus Heights has a higher than average population of both millennials and retirees than other cities our size. So I think that's what we're seeing, right? Is services that apply to those folks, millennials with young families, our retirees and boomer generations. All of those services are coming here because we are such a genuine community, right? And I love that story, that we're such a genuine community that readily welcomes all population.
Yeah, great. That's good. Good stuff. Thank you so much. You had another geeky fact that I always like, and I'm going to put you on the spot if you can recall it. Something about the owner businesses, small owners businesses.
Oh, yes. That's a great one. Okay, so let me just gather, because you put me on the spot.
Sorry, I put her on the spot.
So 64% of our businesses have less than 10 employees. 90% have less than 50.
Wow.
So what that tells me is that Citrus Heights is a small business powerhouse, right? Which brings us back to that category of economic development of startup support. So So hopefully everyone can see that we're starting to offer more services to small businesses. We periodically pull through educational opportunities, partnering with Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Administration. And it's our goal to continue to do more of that and build that even more, because as you can see, there's already a lot here, right?
Yeah, when the big businesses come in, it's always big news, and people talk about the Hobby Lobby and things, but really it's our small businesses that make us a unique community and really are pushing us through.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Where can people follow economic development and what's occurring? And maybe Casey, you can help with this too, of what's occurring in the city. What's the best way for people to get information?
Sure. So from a planning standpoint, on the planning website, we have a parcel viewer map that shows you all the different projects that are going on or that have been approved recently. So it's a pretty easy to navigate tool. You can click on the map, see where you live, and see any little dots that are near you, and that is something going on, whether it's already been approved or going through the process. That information is out there, and you can see what the plans look like and what type of project it's going to be. So it's a good way. That's updated every week, so it's really up to date.
That's great.
And if you do sign up for our e-newsletter that comes out on a monthly basis, you'll get a list of both newly opened businesses and businesses that are coming soon.
Oh, good.
And we're also ramping up our social media activity. So that's all the more reason to be sure you're following us on Facebook, especially because we are making a concerted effort to put out a lot more proactive content with what people want to hear.
Great, great. Any questions? All right. One more project I want to talk about, because I think I've seen a lot of chatter or people asking questions about it, is Sunrise Village. This is Sunrise in Madison. So that's a pretty big, significant change. What's going on there?
Yeah, so at that location, they're proposing a really big facade improvement, similar to what they did at Citrus Town a few years ago. They're really sprucing up the building, attracting new tenants. They're also going to build a new drive-through, a multi-tenant space at that location for a variety of restaurants and other types of users there. So they're putting a lot of money and effort into fixing that center up and making it modern and convenient, and have a lot of really cool tenants coming.
Great. Exciting. That's very exciting. Do you have any last comments that you'd like to share with everybody?
Oh, I think I can speak for Casey in just saying that we're really excited with the next 2 years, what the next 2 years are going to bring to Citrus Heights. There's so many great projects, there's so much movement, and there's so much potential. So we're really excited and honored to be doing this work, and we hope to keep sharing with you as we have updates.
Great. Thank you. We really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and answering questions that the public has and keeping everybody in the know. Nothing's hidden. We want it all out there. Call, ask questions, email us, Facebook us, whatever you want to do method, and we'll get you some answers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Our pleasure.
And just to wrap up tonight, I just want to give, just on the city side, I want to give you some information about upcoming events, getting to that time of year where there's a lot of activities going on. So on this Friday, November 22nd, from 6 to 9 in the Sunrise Marketplace, this is the area around Sunrise Mall, they have their Magical Moments. This is an event that they did last year that's been very successful. So this Friday night they'll be at the Lowe's parking lot side, and they're going to do a laser light show to holiday music. It's very cool. So that's 6 to 9 p.m. this Friday at the Lowe's parking lot. Come join that. And then their next Magical Moment is on Saturday, November 30th from noon to 3, and this is at Sunrise Village, and this is the shopping center we're just talking about, Madison and Sunrise. They're going to do their Frozen Winter Festival. So that's noon to 3 on Saturday, November 30th. And then our most important event of the year is our Christmas tree lighting, our city Christmas tree here at City Hall. It's something we're very, very excited to do every year, and so this year, Thursday, December 5th, it's our 23rd annual tree lighting. So an annual event. Come 6:30 to 9. We have pictures with Santa, cookies, hot cocoa. It's a great time. And I heard something about snow. So we'll just leave it at that. So thank you for joining us.